Good morning, everyone. Sunday, the almond harvest is on. See all the almonds on the ground, all the trees. On that side, these are the nonpareil. They got shook. These ones are caramel. They're not done yet. All the nuts right here. But today, we had to fire somebody because with the shakers, they're built with a bunch of rubber attached to the metal on the head. That way you don't bark a bunch of trees and just create a bunch of damage, because when you damage the trees, it stunts their growth a little bit. Bugs get into the bark and it's just all bad. It just creates disease and rot. We had to fire a guy because I don't know why. He would either have to do this intentionally, or the head was so worn out and he didn't pay attention or care, because we stare at the head all day. The head is to our right side the whole time. We have our right hand on the joystick that controls it. We have to look out that window in order to not hit a tree. He shook, being that he put the head out and shook probably half a row. My boss said 6, but so far what I can see is a half a row. But I don't even know how he got. Oh, the pillow's from that side. Yeah, he shook the pillow, flew out, and kept going. And this is what I mean by a pillow. This thing. It's a solid chunk of rubber that we used inside the shaker heads. Well, it's not solid. It's hollow in the middle. But it's built and designed to withstand grabbing onto the trees, while also having a leather wrap that grabs around it and wraps it up so it doesn't it creates less friction. What happens is there is a sling that holds that, and then on the outside of that sling there is also another pad that goes over it that water, lubricant, and tree pre-treat goes on in order for it to not create heat. And each tree, a little bit of water gets squirted out between the leather pads to keep it cool. This is supposed to stay in there. This is very difficult to get out of the machine, and it came from this row right here, because you could see the track marks from where the shaker was coming from this direction. So he was going that way with his head out. That means he grabbed this tree. Look at the bark. That's what happens to the tree when that pops out and you don't care. You just keep going. And let's see the next tree. Oh, that one's not too bad. I don't see any damage on that. Oh, and this is what I mean by the little bit of damage. This is an old one, but this, where you can see fresh like peel away, it's not entirely fresh. It's still an old wound, but you can see the brighter that wound looks, the newer it is. That's why this one over here, look at that one. That's unacceptable. Bugs are going to get in on that, and I can go ahead and peel that off because it doesn't matter. Once the bark is gone and is damaged like that, we do have sealant that's like tar in a can, but it's tree safe, it's environmental friendly and all this shit. But we had to fire him today. He was just being unacceptable. His attitude was poor. We came, not all of us, but my boss and I and the owner's son, we sat down and we talked, and we went through all the stuff that he's done since the beginning of harvest, which isn't that long. He's only been, the harvest hasn't even been that long. It's only been like, what, week and a half at most, that he's shaking, sweeping, 2 weeks at max. But this guy has just had a bad attitude. This may sound dumb, and I'm not trying to be mean, but when the guy got here, of course I look like I just hopped the fence. Sometimes I look like I just came over. It's funny. So people start talking to me in Spanish, fast, like traditional Spanish. And I have to wait for them to stop talking. And then I go, sorry, I don't understand Spanish. Do you understand English? And they look at me, but you're Mexican. Oh, you speak English now. It's like, yeah, but I'm American. It's like, yeah, but your parents Spanish? Yeah. Do they speak Spanish? Yeah. What about your grandparents? Speak, and they're Mexican. But you? Nah. So right there, I think, is where he kind of got offended that I should have learned Spanish when I was a kid. I just didn't. I liked cartoons and video games more. From that point forward, he really never really like worked me too well. He just had kind of a shit attitude, but I get it. He's older. He's probably like 20 years older than I am. So the older generation, some of them don't really like someone like me. They think, oh, you're lazy. It's like, I work 80 hours a goddamn week, dude. So what do you want me to do? And I get this guy does a lot of hard work too, but he's purposely barking trees. That costs money. He runs over nuts. That also costs money. You think that these almonds, well, that's a bunch of leaves, but do you think that these almonds, he's like, oh, they're cheap. No. Each one, well, back in the day, but each one would be considered a penny. So imagine, here's 1 penny that he just ran over. Look at all those pennies that he would have destroyed. So each row can cost $4,000 or $5,000 if you have a good harvest, because it adds up. 100 almonds doesn't seem much. You think you can hold it in the palm of your hand. Here's 1. It don't seem like a lot. Imagine you have 10. Imagine you have 20. You have 100. And he just runs them over. But sadly, we had to get rid of him. We don't want to get rid of people during harvest, but that costs an extreme amount of money when people are doing like that. And he cost us, it doesn't seem like a lot, $125 in hydraulic fluid, but the downtime. That machine was down for 8 hours while we chased all the problems that he had by running the hydraulic oil basically empty. You have to if you do it wrong and you burn out these hydraulic motors, they're thousands of dollars. I'm talking like not just 2,000, no, tens of thousands. Like, so at some point you just buy another machine because it's cheaper. And not because, you think $10,000 will make a whole machine bad. No, but the labor, the cost, the downtime, all that shit. For me to stop doing one project and to go and save this machine to keep going, one day will cost my boss like $1,000 if I'm not on the correct thing. And I'm not saying I'm important. It's just that time of year. I'm trying to eat the almond that's in my mouth. It's that time of year where everybody has a certain job that has to be done right now in order to keep everything running. Because, yes, we have a lot of employees right now, but everybody's spread out doing specific things to keep the next stage going. Like the shakers have to go in and shake all these trees and knock the almonds off first. And then the sweepers come and they bring all the almonds off the border into the middle. And then the harvester comes after that and picks it all up, puts it in the cart, and a runner is right behind me to pick it all up and send it to the elevator and to the hauler. There is just so much stuff that goes along with this. I know it's hard to explain. I'm trying to make videos to show the whole process, but I have to piece it together because I am servicing and taking care of the shakers, getting them out in the field. I have new people doing that in the shakers shaking, so I got to make sure that they're running good. I have the sweepers. I have a new guy that I went to school with, so he knows who I am. He's worked in this industry before, which is great. He's just learning again because it's been about 4 years since he swept, which is fine, but he knows. Just have to remind him not to run into anything or wrap anything up. But the harvesting, I'm learning myself. I was mainly a shaker sweeper driver. I used the runner. I did a little bit of harvester driving when I was at my old boss, but not too much. That was my brother's job. But now I'm at this new guy and I'm the one that has to do it, which it isn't too hard, but I do have to bug my brother every now and then to be like, oh, how does this work and what does this do? It's the same machine, just a model newer. But harvest is coming along. This is only the first fucking week of our nuts. We had 3 days of a 15-acre block that had terrible ground, and these are 98 acres of ours. There's these nuts right here, and then as far as you can see that way, there's my gator I came on. But on the other side of that gator, as far as you can visibly see, let me see. Let me try and zoom in. Yeah. All the way down there. That's probably, from where I'm standing, it doesn't look that far because I'm zoomed in. This is 10 times magnification. But alright, peoples. I have to get back to work. I have to take this fucking thing with me. I'll see you in the next episode of Almond Life. That's fucking stupid. I'll see you guys later. Bye.